Hey guys, what's going on? I wanted to hop on here and make a little video for you guys today to talk about pricing and knowing your worth. And what I mean by that is, you know, some people, when you give them a price, they'll think about it. They'll have to ponder it. They'll think, well, is he really worth that much? Is it worth that much? Should I pay that much? They're a consumer, which, when you're a consumer, you have those thoughts. Sometimes you just say, okay, well, you're a trusted company. You've been here before. If that's what the price is, that's what the price is. And you have that in business. I have customers that's just never flinched at price. I give them a price and that's it. And I say all that to say this. I watched a guy's house about 4 years ago. He had just moved in, and I believe his price then was like $1,100 or $1,200. And I was there all day. I had the 2.5 gallon machine. I only had 100 foot of hose. I was running the generator with the electric pump. It was a very, 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 very long day. I ran out of water. I had to have my wife come bring me some water because I didn't want to leave the job. I was there forever. And but anyway, I got the job done. I had the 4 foot wand. I had a 4 foot wand that I had the little surface cleaner on that I cleaned the driveway with, one little bit at a time. I mean, it came out great, but I was there forever. Well, and like I said, I want to think his bill that day was like 11, 12, maybe even 13. And so I get a text message the other day from him, and he said, hey, you washed my house like 4 years ago, which, I've sent him text every year, wanting to, know if he wanted me to come back or whatever. And I said, yeah, I know the property. I'll come out and look at it. And he said, do you do roofs? And I said, yeah. No, this is like where I'm at, it's probably the most prominent neighborhood around as far as housing goes. Everybody in the neighborhood takes care of their place, their beautiful homes, probably in surplus of $350 and up, $1,000. So very, very nice place. Everybody's yards are treated. And so this guy has a really nice place. And I'm glad to see that it still looked good, after 4 years. But anyway, I go over and he wants the same thing done as before, but this time he wants the roof done. And the roof is, really big. It's really steep. I'd have a 24 foot ladder. I'd really have that thing extended out, washing this thing. And then he said he didn't want any chlorine on some of the blue stone on the back. I don't know what the deal was with that. It looked amazing when we did it the last time, and plus that's just how you wash them to get the algae off. But it was weird because he texts me and he says, I give him the quote, and his response back to me was not when can you start. His response back to me was, how long do you think it'll take? And I was like, the last time I was working with different equipment, it took me a full day. All day. But this time it may not be like that. It'll probably be a full day because I'm doing the roof. And so that's what I said. I said it should be one full day. And then he never said anything back. And I just thought it was weird because, if he's asking how long it's going to take, I'm thinking, okay, well, does he not think that it's worth that much? Or is he like going to be out of town and he's trying to schedule it around something? I always think positive. I don't want to think that a customer that I've had before is going to get a price and then go, I know what it looked like the last time, and I'm just not okay paying that price. I know that he's going to do a good job, and he did a good job the last time, but I just don't think he's worth it. So the main thing, guys, is just know your worth. That's going to be any business, anybody watching this, whether what kind of service business you're in, or if you're a salesman or whatever, just know your worth. That's all I can say. It aggravated me. I wanted to say so many things because this guy is like an heir to like a multi-million-dollar construction company where I live. And I know he has to know the value. of a good job. And it would be different if we had never been there before. But, we went there once and, did an amazing job, 4 years ago. And prices go up. And, heck, I'm doing a roof too. And I even cut some discounts on him, in there. So I just want to get on here, guys. Know your worth. Don't let a customer make you feel like you're just not good enough. If your price is $1,900 and you know that that's a good price and you're not ripping them off, if they say no, they say no. Move on to the next one. Everybody's not your customer. And I would rather have somebody that I'm going to work for that's going to believe that I'm worth whatever I tell them instead of question it. If I tell somebody the roof is, $225, or if I say your house wash is $225 or $250, they're not going to say, well, how long is it going to take you? You're not paying me for my time. You're paying me for the knowledge that and the skill that I own, that I've had for the last 8-9 years, to know that I'm going to come to your house and I'm not going to do any damage to it, and it's going to look amazing when I'm done. That's what you're paying for. You're not paying for my time. I don't get paid by the hour. So, guys, that's my time for today. I just wanted to hop on here and just say, know your worth. If somebody comes at you, and that's the way it feels. It kind of feels personal when somebody goes, it's just not worth a day's work, if that's all it's going to take you. And I even told my wife, I said, well, I wonder if I text him back and said, I reconsider. It may take 2 days. Would it have made him feel better? I had the same thing with a lady that I used to mow for. I would come in, and I actually made a video about this a couple years ago. I would come in with my 61-inch mower, and, I'm a little bit younger guy than what she hired, but I come in with my mower, no matter if it was wet, dry, whatever. I could mow her yard and have it done in like 45 minutes, and her price was $50 because, it was just a crap yard. You had to do a lot of weed eating, a lot of spraying, always ant hills everywhere, banks, ditches. It was just... It was a lot to deal with, honestly. And she didn't like the fact that I was, charging $50. So what I was saying is that lady didn't like the fact that I was charging her $50. And she was a bi-weekly cut. It took me about 45 minutes to do her yard, and that was a lot. Like I said, a lot of trimming. A lot of, it wasn't just some easy cakewalk yard. But I could come in, knock it out, make it look good. And so she always tried to find something wrong. She kept saying I didn't cut it short enough. And she would say, well, when your wife cuts it, it looks, so low. Well, we cut on the same level, and it wasn't any different, but she would just always want to complain. And I finally just told this lady, I said, hey, if you want to find somebody else since you're unhappy with it, find somebody else. So she found these two old guys, probably in their late 50s, early 60s. And they show up in a truck with 2 push mowers that sound like they're barely running. And they come in, and she loves, and they charge her $50, the very same thing that I was charging. But she loves the fact that these 2 guys are out there push mowing her yard, and it takes them 2 or 3 hours. She feels like she's getting her money's worth by doing that instead of paying me to do it and have it done by 45 minutes. Now, they come in with the push mower, they cut it super low because it's a bi-weekly yard. They cut it super low. Sometimes they don't trim at all. They aren't professional at all. We'll just say that. But, that's her business. That's who she wanted to have do her yard, so that's what she gets. But it was the fact that she just didn't think that I was worth $50 an hour, to come maintain her yard. It didn't matter how good it looked. It didn't matter how much extra I did or how much better I tried to make it or change if she wanted something changed or whatever. It was just the fact that I was there for an hour and she didn't think that was worth it. But, for those 2 guys to show up and really be out there sweating and humping, bumping around and taking them 2 or 3 hours to do it, and then, it still looks like crap because they don't pick up the thatch, she loved that. And so she feels like she's getting her money's worth, and that's how some people are. They don't want to pay a price because they don't feel like they're getting their money's worth. I had some insulation sucked out of my attic, and it was $2,500, $2,000. Matter of fact, $2,000. There's two guys there that showed up 2 days at a time. You know, I didn't question it because that was what price they give me. You know, they were working with a company. That was the price that it was. I didn't say, oh, well, you guys have to stay here for 8 hours today and then come back for 8 hours tomorrow. No, they wasn't getting paid by the hour. They were getting paid by the job. And so just know your worth, guys, and we'll catch you next time.